The crack of the bat echoed like a gunshot through the empty high school gym. But it was my heart that shattered first when Jake's swing sent the ball slamming into the chain-link fence. "What the hell are you staring at, kid?" he snarled, his voice raw and edged with something darker than anger. As sweat dripped from his brow onto the scuffed wooden floor, I froze, glove in hand, realizing too late that the help he'd asked for wasn't about baseball at all. It was about the storm raging inside him, the one I'd been too scared to name until that moment tore us both open. That afternoon in late summer, the air in suburban Ohio hung thick with the scent of cut grass and distant rain, the kind of sticky heat that makes your shirt cling like a second skin. I was 16, awkward in that gangly way where your limbs feel like they've outgrown your brain, and my best friend Tyler had dragged me to his house after school for what he called bro time. Tyler was the easygoing type, blonde hair that flopped over his forehead, a laugh that could defuse any bomb, and zero clue about the chaos his family was about to unleash on my world. We were sprawled on his basement couch, controllers in hand, battling it out in some pixelated war zone on the TV, when the door at the top of the stairs banged open. "Yo, Ty, get your ass up here." It was Jake, Tyler's older brother, his voice booming like thunder rolling in from Lake Erie. Jake was 22, home from his first year at Ohio State on summer break, and he carried himself like he owned the goddamn horizon. Broad shoulders from years on the diamond, dark hair cropped short but always a little messy, and eyes the color of storm clouds, gray-blue, piercing, the kind that made you feel seen and stripped bare all at once. He was the star pitcher for the Buckeyes farm team, whispers of scouts already circling like vultures over roadkill. To me, he was a god, untouchable and terrifying. Tyler groaned, pausing the game. "What now, man? I'm in the middle of owning Ethan here." Jake's shadow fell across the stairs, his silhouette filling the frame like a movie poster. He was in his practice gear, faded gray sweats, a Buckeyes tee stretched tight across his chest, and that perpetual 5 o'clock shadow that made him look like he'd stepped out of a cologne ad. "Need help with my gear. Coach wants it cleaned and oiled before tomorrow's scrimmage. You're the one with the steady hands, Ty. Or are you too busy losing?" Tyler rolled his eyes but tossed the controller aside. "Fine, but Ethan's coming too. He owes me for that mercy kill last round." I shot him a glare, but inside, my stomach flipped. Being around Jake was like standing too close to a bonfire, warm, mesmerizing, but one wrong move and you'd get burned. Up in the garage, the air was cooler, laced with the metallic tang of oil and leather. Jake's setup was a shrine to the game. Bats lined up like soldiers, a net strung across one wall, and his glove, a butter-soft Wilson, broken in from high school glory days, sitting on the workbench like a relic. Tyler grabbed a rag and started wiping down a helmet, muttering about how Jake treated him like a servant. I hovered near the glove, my fingers itching to touch it. I played Little League back in middle school, but that was kid stuff. This was pro level, the kind of gear that whispered promises of stadium lights and cheering crowds. Jake leaned against the workbench, arms crossed, watching us with that half-smile that could mean anything from amusement to mockery. "You ever pitch, Ethan?" His voice was casual, but his eyes locked on mine, holding just a beat too long. I shrugged, heat creeping up my neck. "Nah, mostly caught. Kept me out of trouble, I guess." I'd quit because the other boys' roughhousing felt too charged, their bodies brushing mine in ways that left me breathless and ashamed. I'd spent the last year burying those feelings under layers of straight guy armor, cracking jokes with Tyler about girls at school, pretending the posters on my wall were of cheerleaders, not the soccer captain's sculpted legs. He chuckled, low and rumbling. "Catching's the real art. You've got to trust the guy on the mound not to bean you." He pushed off the bench and handed me the glove, our fingers brushing, electric, accidental, gone in a flash. "Here, oil it up. Show me what you've got." Tyler snorted. "Ethan's hands are like butterfingers. Remember that time he dropped the pizza box in the lake?" "Shut up," I muttered, but I took the glove, sinking onto a stool. The leather was warm, supple, molded to Jake's hand like it was an extension of him. I worked the oil in slow circles, the scent filling my lungs, grounding me. Jake watched, silent now, his presence a weight that made the garage feel smaller, the air thicker. That's when it happened, the something that cracked everything wide open. Tyler's phone buzzed, and he cursed, wiping his hands. Shit, Mom's calling. Forgot I have piano with Grandma today. He bolted upstairs, leaving me alone with Jake, the door clicking shut like a trap springing. Silence stretched, broken only by the distant hum of a lawnmower outside. Jake didn't move, just stood there, arms crossed again, staring at the floor. Then, without warning, he slammed his fist into the workbench, the tools rattling like bones. God damn it, he growled, his voice breaking on the edges. I jumped, the oil rag slipping from my fingers. Whoa, Jake, you okay? What? He laughed, bitter and hollow, running a hand over his face. Okay? Yeah, sure. Just peachy. He turned away, shoulders hunching, and for the first time, I saw the fracture lines. The way his jaw clenched, the tremor in his hands. This wasn't the invincible Jake. This was a guy unraveling. Talk to me? I said, my voice steadier than I felt. Heart pounding, I stood, closing the distance. Tyler's gone. It's just us. He glanced back, eyes stormy, searching mine. You wouldn't get it, Ethan. You're normal, straight as an arrow, right? Chasing skirts, living the dream. The word hit like a fastball to the gut. Normal, straight. I'd built my life on that lie, but hearing it from him, it stung deeper than it should. Maybe not, I whispered, the truth slipping out before I could cage it. Maybe I'm not what you think. His breath caught, the garage going still as a held pitch. He stepped closer, too close, the heat from his body radiating like summer asphalt. What are you saying? I swallowed, the glove forgotten on the bench. I'm saying, I felt it too. The way it sneaks up on you. The fear. My voice cracked, but I held his gaze, the air between us charged, alive. Jake's hand lifted, hesitant, cupping the side of my face. Rough palm against smooth skin, calluses from gripping seemed scraping gently. Ethan, he murmured, thumb tracing my jaw. This could ruin everything. Then he kissed me. Not soft, not tentative. A crash of lips, desperate and hungry, tasting of salt and unspoken secrets. My world tilted, hands fisting in his shirt, pulling him closer as the garage spun away. It was fire and flood, the dam breaking after years of drought. When we broke apart, gasping, his forehead pressed to mine, I knew this was the something, and it was going to change us forever. The days that followed blurred into a secret rhythm. A stolen symphony played in the shadows of Tyler's house. We'd wait for the perfect moment. Tyler off at band practice, their parents at the country club, and Jake would find excuses to pull me into the garage, the basement, even the cramped attic where old Christmas decorations gathered dust. Each touch built on the last, a language of whispers and glances, our bodies learning each other in the quiet spaces where words failed. You're trouble, you know that? Jake would say, his breath hot against my neck as we leaned against the hood of his beat-up Ford pickup, parked in the driveway under the cover of dusk. I'd laugh, low and nervous, tracing the line of his collarbone through his shirt. Says the guy who started it. But beneath the thrill, cracks formed. Jake was a pressure cooker, scouts breathing down his neck, whispers from the team about keeping his head in the game, and the weight of his father's expectations. Mr. Harlan was a former minor leaguer himself, all bluster and beer gut, the kind of man who believed real boys didn't cry or question their swings. You're my legacy, son, he'd boom during family dinners, clapping Jake on the back hard enough to bruise. Tyler and I would exchange eye rolls across the table, but I saw how it landed on Jake, like a fastball he couldn't dodge. One night, after a brutal practice where Jake struck out the side but took a line drive to the shin, he showed up at my window. It was past midnight, the moon hanging low over the split-level homes of our neighborhood like a guilty witness. I lived in a cookie-cutter rancher 2 blocks away, posters of the Beatles and faded sports heroes peeling from the walls. My room was a sanctuary of comic books and hidden journals, pages filled with sketches of boys who looked suspiciously like Jake. Tap, tap, tap. I jolted awake, heart racing. And there he was, silhouetted against the streetlight, glove tucked under one arm like a shield. I cracked the window, whispering, "What the hell? You'll wake my dad." "Can't sleep," he said simply, climbing through with the grace of someone who'd scaled bleachers 1,000 times. He collapsed onto my bed, wincing as he propped his leg, bruise blooming purple under the hem of his shorts. I grabbed the first aid kit from my desk, bandages, ice pack, the works, and knelt beside him, peeling back the fabric. His skin was warm, dusted with dark hair, and I worked carefully, my fingers lingering. "This is stupid. You could have texted. Needed to see you." His hand caught mine, pulling me up until I was straddling his lap, the mattress dipping under our weight. We didn't kiss, not yet. Just held there, breath sinking, his heartbeat thundering against my chest. "Ethan, what are we doing? It's not just messing around, is it?" I shook my head, throat tight. "No, it's real. Scary real." For me, it was a revelation. The first time I'd let myself feel without the armor of denial. I'd known I was different since middle school locker rooms. The way my eyes lingered on the curve of a teammate's back, the knot in my stomach when they'd horse around. But admitting it, that was Jake's gift, wrapped in risk. He pulled me down then, our mouths meeting slow and deep, a conversation in sighs. We explored with hands and whispers, his fingers mapping the freckles across my shoulders, mine tangling in his hair. It was intimate, vulnerable, the kind of connection that stitches souls. Afterward, curled against him in the dark, he confessed fragments. The teammate at Ohio State who'd cornered him in the showers, the drunken fumble that ended in fists and fractured trust. I thought I could bury it, pitch harder, swing meaner. But you make me want to fight for it. I traced circles on his chest, the rise and fall steadying me. Then fight. With me. But secrets have a way of festering, and ours was no exception. Tyler started noticing. The lingering glances at family barbecues. The way Jake's excuses to borrow my bike sounded flimsier each time. "You two are weird lately," he said one afternoon as we shot hoops in his driveway, the ball thwacking against asphalt like a warning. Sweat beaded on his forehead, mirroring mine, but his eyes narrowed with that brotherly suspicion. "Just helping with gear," I mumbled, sinking a jumper to dodge the question. Guilt twisted in my gut like a bad hop. Tyler was my anchor, sleepovers, late-night confessions about crushes on girls we'd never ask out. Betraying him felt like cracking the foundation of our friendship. The real storm hit 2 weeks later, on the 4th of July. The neighborhood block party was in full swing. Red, white, and blue banners flapping from porches. The sizzle of burgers on grills mingling with fireworks popping prematurely in the dusk. Jake's family hosted every year. Their sprawling backyard transformed into a Patriots dream. Cornhole setups, a slip and slide for the kids, and a keg tapped early by Mr. Harlan's buddies. I arrived with Tyler, a 6-pack of root beer in hand as my offering, blending into the crowd of aunts, uncles, and neighbors nursing plastic cups. Jake was at the grill, flipping patties with tongs, his laugh booming as he traded jabs with old high school coaches. Our eyes met across the yard, electric, loaded, and he winked, subtle as a curveball. My pulse stuttered. As night fell, the sky erupted in color, booms shaking the earth. Tyler dragged me to the lawn for a better view, but Jake found us, sliding onto the grass beside me, our shoulders brushing under the guise of friendship. "Good show, huh?" he murmured, close enough that his breath tickled my ear. Tyler, oblivious, launched into a rant about last year's dud fireworks. But then, disaster. One of Jake's teammates, a burly guy named Marco from the Buckeyes, lumbered over, beer in hand, clapping Jake on the back. "Harlan, man, you disappeared after that party last month. What? Got a girl keeping you busy?" He grinned wolfishly, oblivious to the tension coiling in Jake's frame. Jake stiffened, his easy smile faltering. "Something like that." Marco's eyes flicked to me, then back. "This the little bro's sidekick? Ethan, right? Heard you're a decent catcher." Ever think about trying out for the rec league? Before I could respond, Tyler piped up, laughing. Ethan? Nah, he's more the cheerleader type. It was meant as a joke, our usual banter, but in that charged air it landed wrong. Jake's jaw ticked, and Marco howled, slapping his knee. Cheerleader, huh? Bet he'd look cute in a skirt. The words hung, laced with that casual homophobia guys sling like fastballs, not realizing the bruise they leave. Jake exploded upright, chair scraping. Shut your mouth, Marco. His voice was ice, cutting through the fireworks roar. The group froze. Marco blinked, cup halfway to his lips. Whoa, easy, Harlan. Just kidding around. It's not funny. Jake's fists clenched, veins standing out on his forearms. Not to anyone. Tyler stood too, confusion etching his face. Jake, what the hell? It's a joke. But Jake's eyes were on me, wild and pleading. Don't say it. Don't ruin this. The betrayal hit then, sharp as a betrayal. He wouldn't claim us. Not here. Not now. I bolted, weaving through the crowd, fireworks bursting overhead like accusations. Ethan. His call chased me, but I didn't stop, tears stinging as I cut through backyards, the booms masking my sobs. Home was a blur. Slamming my door, collapsing against it, the weight of it all crashing down. We'd built something fragile, beautiful, and one careless word had nearly shattered it. He came later, stones at my window like some rom-com cliché. I let him in, but the air was thick with unspoken hurt. I'm sorry, he said, pacing my room like a caged animal. I froze. My dad was right there, and Marco's got a big mouth and You let them talk like that. I cut in, voice breaking. Like I'm nothing. Like we're nothing. He stopped, face crumpling. You're everything. God, Ethan, you don't know what it's like. One slip, and it's over. Scholarship, team, family. He sank onto the bed, head in hands. I love the game. It's all I've got. Love. The word hung. First time spoken aloud. A grenade in the quiet. I knelt before him, taking his hands. Then let me be part of it. All of it. Or let me go. He pulled me up, kissing me fierce, apologies in every press of lips. Never letting you go. We held on, fireworks fading to embers outside. But the Real explosion was building. Tyler, the team, the world waiting to collide. The fallout came swift and merciless. Tyler cornered me the next day at the community pool, chlorine-sharp air buzzing with splashing kids and lifeguard whistles. He was in board shorts, towel slung over his shoulder, but his face was thunder. What the fuck is going on with you and Jake? My stomach dropped, water from my cannonball still dripping down my legs. What? Nothing, man. Why? He jabbed a finger at my chest. Don't bullshit me. Last night he went nuclear over a stupid joke. And you've been weird, sneaking off, all secretive. Is this about? He trailed off, eyes narrowing, the pieces clicking. Tyler wasn't dumb. He'd seen the way I looked at guys in movies, the hesitation in my dating stories. I opened my mouth, lies queuing up, but they died on my tongue. Tyler, it's complicated. Complicated how? Spill it, Ethan. Are you? He stopped, glancing around at the sunbathers, voice dropping. Gay? And into my brother. The word punched out, raw and real. I nodded, world tilting. Yeah, I am. And Jake. We didn't plan it. It just happened. Betrayal flashed in his eyes. Hurt. Confusion. A brother's protective rage. My brother? The straight arrow jock? Jesus, Ethan. That's fucked up. He's using you or something. He can't. Dad would kill him. He's not using me. My voice rose, drawing stares. We care about each other. Really care. Tyler shook his head, backing away. This is messed up. I need space. Don't come around for a while. He turned, diving into the deep end, bubbles rising like my drowning hopes. Word spread like wildfire through the neighborhood grapevine. By evening, my phone lit up. Texts from mutual friends, vague concern laced with gossip. Jake called. Frantic. Tyler's pissed. He told Mom something's off with us. We gotta talk to him together. We met at the old baseball diamond behind the middle school, the one with sagging nets and weeds pushing through the infield dirt. Dusk painted the sky bruise purple, crickets chirping a tense soundtrack. Tyler arrived last, bike tires crunching gravel, face set like stone. "Talk," he demanded, dropping the kickstand. "Both of you." Jake stepped forward, glove in hand, a peace offering. "Ty, listen. Ethan's important to me, more than a friend. We're together." Tyler flinched, eyes darting between us. "Together? Like, dating? Dude, you're the team captain. What about scouts? What about Dad?" Jake finished, voice steady but pained. "Yeah, I thought about that. Every damn day. But hiding it is killing me. Ethan's worth the risk." I stayed silent, heart in my throat, watching the brothers, blood thick as the humid air. Tyler paced, kicking at a base plate, frustration boiling over. "This isn't just about you two. It's me, my best friend and my brother sneaking around like some soap opera. What if it blows up? What if Dad finds out and loses it? Or the team turns on Jake?" The conflict tore at me, a knife twist of guilt. Tyler wasn't wrong. We'd pulled him into our orbit without consent, collateral in our private war. "We're sorry," I said softly, "for not telling you sooner. You're my brother too, Ty, in every way that matters." He stopped, looking at me, really looking, the hurt softening to something human. "Does Mom know? Anyone?" Jake shook his head. "Not yet, but we're done hiding. Starting now." The air shifted then, tentative bridge forming. Tyler sighed, rubbing his neck. "Fine. But if you hurt him, Ethan, I'll bury you in the outfield." It was half joke, half threat, but the tension eased, fireworks of a different kind, hope, sparking in the dark. Yet the real climax loomed, inevitable as a ninth-inning rally. It broke a week later, at Jake's big scrimmage against a rival college team. The field was packed, scouts in the stands with clipboards, Mr. Harlan bellowing from the bleachers, Tyler and I huddled in the family section, our fragile truce holding under the stadium lights. Jake dominated early, heat on his fastball, spin on the curve that left batters flailing. I watched, mesmerized, pride swelling with every strike. But in the sixth disaster, a runner on third, 2 outs, Jake winds up, and the batter connects, a liner straight back at his head. He ducks, but it clips his shoulder, glove flying as he crumples. The crowd gasps. I leap to my feet, Tyler gripping my arm. He's okay, he mutters, but we're both lying. Jake's down, medics rushing the mound, and as they help him up, his eyes find mine. Fear, not pain, flashing there. In the ER, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. The truth detonated. Mr. Harlan burst in, face red as the Ohio State Scarlet, demanding answers from the doctor. Jake, doped on painkillers, shoulder dislocated but spirit unbroken, pulled me aside in the hallway. "Tell him, now, before I chicken out." Tyler nodded from the waiting room, silent support. Heart hammering, I faced the patriarch. Beer belly straining his polo, eyes like chips of flint. "Mr. Harlan, there's something you need to know. About Jake. About us." He blinked, confusion furrowing his brow. "Us? I'm gay," Jake said from the doorway, voice steady despite the sling. "And Ethan's my boyfriend. Have been for weeks." The hallway went tomb silent, the weight of generations crashing down. Mr. Harlan's face cycled shock, denial, fury. "What the hell is this? Some joke? You're a Harlan's son. Harlans play ball. They love who they love," Mrs. Harlan interjected, appearing like a ghost, hand on her husband's arm. She'd overheard, her quiet strength a revelation. "Let him be, Tom. Let them be." The argument spilled into the parking lot, voices rising over the hum of idling engines. Slurs hurled like errant throws, tears from Jake's mother, Tyler's pleas cutting through. "Dad, they're happy. Isn't that enough?" Betrayal peaked in Mr. Harlan's roar. "This ends now. No son of mine. But Jake stood firm, arm around my waist, our first public touch a declaration. Then I'm not your son anymore. The drive home was a funeral procession. Families splintered. Jake moved in with a distant aunt that night, crashing on her couch in Cleveland, closer to campus but worlds away. Texts flew. Apologies from Tyler, silence from Mr. Harlan, tentative olive branches from Mrs. Harlan. I ached for Jake, the distance a chasm, but our bond? Forged stronger in the fire. Months blurred. Fall leaves turning the diamond to rust. Jake rehabbing his shoulder with dogged determination. Scouts wavering but not walking away. We met weekends, stolen hours in coffee shops and park benches, building a life from fragments. Tyler bridged the gap, smuggling care packages, his loyalty a bomb. Family's what you choose, he'd say, echoing the humanism I'd clung to since that first kiss. Winter brought the turning. Christmas Eve, snow blanketing Ohio like forgiveness. Jake showed at my door. Unannounced, duffel in hand. Auntie's place flooded. Mind a roommate. But his eyes said more. I'm all in. My dad, ever the softy, clapped him on the good shoulder. Bunk with Ethan. Just keep the door cracked. That night, under twinkling lights, we talked till dawn. Dreams of pro ball for him, art school for me, a future unpainted but possible. No grand gestures, just hands entwined, the quiet romance of survival. Spring thawed the rifts. Mr. Harlan's first call came halting, gruff. Heard you're pitching again. Good. Progress inch by inch. Tyler threw the first pitch at Jake's home opener. A wild one that sailed into the stands. But it was a start. Our story didn't end in stadium glory or tearful reconciliations. It ended human. Flawed, tender, enduring. Jake signed a minor league deal that summer, me tagging along to spring training in Arizona, Tyler visiting with goofy postcards. Betrayal scarred, but love? It mended, stitch by careful stitch. Looking back, that garage moment was the hook. The bat cracking not just air, but open hearts. And in the end, something happened all right. We happened. To each other. To the world. And it was beautiful. The minor leagues were a grind. A dusty carousel of bus rides and motel rooms that smelled like stale smoke and unfulfilled dreams. Jake's contract with the Columbus Clippers was entry-level. Low pay, long hours. The constant specter of demotion hovering like a bad umpire call. But to us, it was freedom. Wide open Midwest skies, the crack of bats under floodlights, and nights tangled in cheap sheets, whispering futures into the dark. I deferred my senior year, working part-time at a campus bookstore near Ohio State, shipping care packages to Jake when he was on the road. Tyler stayed home, acing AP classes and dating a girl from debate club, blonde, bookish, the kind who'd argue you into loving her. He texted updates. Dad asked about Jake today. Didn't yell. Progress. It was in the slow drip way of families, amending. Our first real test came in May, during a homestand against the Toledo Mud Hens. The stadium was a concrete behemoth on the edge of town, hot dog vendors hawking wares under buzzing scoreboards. I sat in the family section, now including me officially, with Mrs. Harlan, who'd started knitting scarves in Clippers colors, her needles clicking a rhythmic apology for the silence of months past. Jake was lights out, striking out 8 in 5 innings, his fastball humming like a live wire. Postgame, the team spilled into a dive bar downtown, neon signs flickering Harlan's heroes in mocking tribute. Teammates slapped his back, buying rounds, but Marco was there. Reassigned from the majors, ego bruised, beer loosening his tongue. Still playing house with the kid? He slurred, nodding at me across the sticky table. The bar noise dipped, heads turning. Jake's grip tightened on his bottle. Watch it, Marco. But Marco leaned in, breath sour. Come on, man. We all saw the drama back home. You really gonna let that fairy shit tank your career? The word landed like a beanball, vicious, intentional. Fists clenched around the table. Tyler, visiting for the weekend, half rose, but I beat him, slamming my palm down. Say it again. I dare you. Marco laughed. Ugly. Feisty. Bet that's why he likes you. Chaos erupted. Jake lunging, chairs scraping, bottles shattering. Bouncers waded in, hauling Marco out by his collar, but the damage was done. Whispers rippled through the team. Harlan's got a boyfriend. For real. Jake's manager pulled him aside later, clipboard in hand, face grim. Focus on the mound, son. Personal life's personal. Till it ain't. That night, in our motel room overlooking the Scioto River, Jake paced, ice pack pressed to his knuckles. I should have decked him harder. God, Ethan, I'm sorry. I pulled him down, legs entwining on the lumpy bed. You defended us. That's enough. We made love slow, deliberate. Kisses trailing collarbones, hands mapping scars both seen and unseen. It was our ritual, reclaiming power from the world's cruelty, bodies speaking what words couldn't. But betrayal's shadow lingered. A week later, an anonymous email hit Jake's inbox. Grainy photos from that 4th of July party. Us in the grass, shoulders touching. Attached note. Keep it quiet or these go viral. Scouts hate drama. Panic clawed at him. He showed me during a layover in Indianapolis, bus idling outside a Waffle House. It's Marco. Has to be. I scanned the grainies. Innocent really, but in the wrong hands? Lethal. We fight it. Together. We did. Tyler, tech-savvy from gaming marathons, traced the IP to a Toledo burner account. Sloppy work from a vengeful ex-teammate. Confrontation came at batting practice, Marco sneering from the cage. Prove it was me. Won't stick. Jake didn't swing. Instead, it ends here. Or I go public, full story, you're bullying the threats. See who the organization believes. Marco blanched, mumbling retreat. The photos vanished, but trust? Fractured anew. Jake's pitches suffered wild, erratic, until a rainout in June forced a reckoning. Stranded in a hotel lobby, rain lashing windows, he broke. What if they're right? What if I'm not cut out for this, with you? I cupped his face, thumbs brushing stubble. Then we pivot. Ball's not the only diamond. Dramatic, sure, but true. Our love was the real league, high stakes and unforgiving. Summer peaked in a call-up tease, Jake to AAA for a spot start. Toledo to Buffalo, a whirlwind drive with me shotgun. Tyler trailing in his Civic for moral support. The stadium was electric, skyline glittering over Lake Ontario. 10,000 fans roaring as Jake warmed up. He was poetry on the mound. Slider biting, change-up dancing, until the 7th, bases loaded, 2 outs. Batter fouls off 3, then connects. Grand slam, sailing into the night. Jake's face crumples, not defeat but release. Tears mixing with sweat as he trudges off. In the tunnel, he collapsed against lockers, sobs racking. Failed. Again. I held him, Tyler blocking the door. You showed up. That's winning. Mrs. Harlan arrived next day, hugging him fierce. Proud, baby. Always. Mr. Harlan's card followed. Saw the box score. Keep grinding. No son. But close. Fall brought balance. Jake stabilized in AA, me enrolling at community college for graphic design. Our lives syncing like a perfect relay. Dates were simple. Picnics by the river, sketches of his form mid-pitch, his head on my lap under stars. Romance bloomed in margins. A mixtape of Springsteen ballads, his jersey draped over my chair. Betrayal's echo faded, replaced by depth. One crisp October evening, post-game in Akron, Jake proposed not ring but promise. On the empty field, dew-kissed grass, he knelt with his glove. Marry me? Not today but someday. Build this life. Tears blurred the lights. Yes, God, yes. Tyler's wedding invite came spring 27. Him and his debate girl, vows under blooming dogwoods. We attended, Ty's askew, Jake's arm around my waist in photos. Mr. Harlan shook my hand. Gruff. Treat him right. Mrs. Harlan cried happy tears, knitting us matching Afghans. Climax crested that summer. Jake's call up to the majors, Indians, Cleveland homecoming. Opening day, Progressive Field, a sea of red, he started, nerves jangling like loose change. I sat front row, Tyler beside, Families merged in the stands. First pitch, strike. Second, swing and miss. The line drive in the fifth, caught at the wall, game saver. Final out, slider frozen, batter whiffing. Win. Embrace at the mound. Teammates hoisting him, me rushing the field, kiss stolen amid cheers. Not perfect. Slumps came, trades loomed, life's curveballs unrelenting. But in the quiet after, hotel suite overlooking the lake, Jake whispered, "We made it. We did." From garage shadows to stadium spotlights, our story a testament. Love betrays expectations, conflicts forge strength, and endings, human, hopeful, ours. Life in the majors was a high-wire act. Glory one inning, scrutiny the next. Jake's rookie season with the Guardians was a roller coaster. Cy Young whispers in April, demotion threats by July after a brutal road trip through the AL East. The press hounded him, mics thrusting like accusatory fingers. Harlan? What's with the velocity dip? Personal issues. He'd flash that megawatt smile, deflecting with just mechanics, fellas. But off-record, in our Lakewood apartment, cozy two-bedroom with Cuyahoga views, he'd unravel. "It's the noise," he'd say, pacing the living room, playoff posters curling at edges. Every whiff's a headline. Every homer, a autopsy. I'd draw him baths, eucalyptus steaming, hands massaging knots from his neck. "You're more than the box score," I'd murmur, lips to his temple. Intimacy was our anchor. Lazy Sundays trading sections of the Plain Dealer, his feet in my lap, debates over box scores dissolving into laughter and slow kisses. Tyler thrived nearby, junior at Kent State, majoring in sports journalism. Irony not lost. He'd crash weekends, three of us grilling on the balcony, stories flowing like Great Lakes currents. "Remember that time you struck out on purpose to impress Ethan?" He'd tease, earning Jake's playful shove. Family dinners grew regular. Mrs. Harlan's lasagna a staple, Mr. Harlan's grunts evolving to questions. "How's the splitter working?" Progress, plated. But conflict brewed in subtler forms. Jake's agent, a slick New Yorker named Vic, pulled him aside pre-All-Star break. "The boyfriend thing? It's cute, but brands want relatable. Tone it down for endorsements." Jake related over takeout lo mein, chopsticks hovering. "He says I'm distracted, like loving you is a flaw." Rage simmered, but I tamped it. Prove him wrong. On your terms. We channeled it, volunteering at LGBTQ youth clinics in Cleveland. Jake guest pitching clinics with a no outsiders clause. Kids with wide eyes, mirroring our younger selves, hung on his words. "The game's tough, but owning your truth, that's the real fastball." Betrayal struck deepest from within. August, homestand versus the Twins, Jake's arm rebelled. A tweak in bullpen, diagnosed as mild rotator strain. Rest mandated, he stewed, gym rat turned spectator. That's when rumors surfaced. Texts from a teammate, Derek, a slick shortstop with endorsement deals and a podcast, leaked to Deadspin. Harlan's too busy playing house to grind. Queer dramas, his new curve. Jake saw it during warm-ups, phone buzzing mid-stretch. Face ashen, he stormed the clubhouse, Derek cornered by lockers. "You leak that shit?" Derek smirked, towel snapping. "Just truth, man. You're soft." Coaches notice. Fists flew. Jake's hook connecting with Derek's jaw. Benches clearing in a scrum of shouts and shoves. Suspended 3 games, Jake called from the dugout phone, voice hollow. "Ruined it. Again." I drove through traffic, progressives' lights blurring in rain. "You defended your heart." "Mine too." Hotel that night. Storm raging outside. Us inside, bodies fierce. Nails raking backs, gasps echoing. Catharsis, reclaiming narrative. Suspension lifted. Jake returned sharper. No-hitter tease against the Royals. But the leak scarred. Reporters probing. "Any team tensions?" He'd stonewall, but privately doubt gnawed. "What if I drag you down?" The hate, the headlines. I'd counter with sketches, him mid-wind-up, ethereal lines capturing grace. "You're lifting me. Always." Humanity shone in margins. Tyler's internship at ESPN landed a feature. From Closet to Mound, Jake Harlan's Journey. Airing nationally, it humanized. Clips of us walking the lakefront, hand in hand. Interviews with Tyler. He's my hero, gay or not. Views spiked. Support flooded. Letters from fans. You gave me courage. Climax brewed in September. Pennant chase tightening. Guardians clinging to wild card. Jake starting finale versus Yankees. Yankee Stadium. Cathedral of concrete. Ghosts of mantle whispering. I flew in, Tyler too. Families in luxury box. Mr. Harlan's first away game. Tie knotted tight. Pre-game, Jake vomited nerves in the tunnel. This is it. Make or break. I kissed his forehead, salt tang. Breakthrough. He delivered 7 innings, 2 runs, 102 pitches of poetry. Ninth. Closer falters, bases juiced, Yankees slugger at plate. Jake, summoned for save, wins, strike, foul, crack, liner to left, diving catch. Umpire's safe call on the tag, out. Bedlam, field rush. Confetti swirling, me enveloped in his sweat-slick embrace, kiss lost in roar. We did it, he gasped. Postseason blur. ALDS win, champagne showers sticky sweet. But betrayal's final twist. Derek, traded mid-series, sold story to tabloid. Inside Harlan's locker room lies. Fabrications flew. Affairs, drugs, queer agenda poisoning team. League investigated. Jake testified, voice steal. Lies from a has-been. Check the tape. Cleared, but toll-mounted, sleepless nights, therapy sessions unpacking internalized hate. Resolution came quiet, World Series Eve. Hotel balcony, city lights twinkling, Jake on one knee, ring this time, simple platinum. Ethan, through slumps and saves, you're my constant. Marry me? Yes. Breathless, ring slipping on like fate. Series loss stung, extra innings heartbreak, but victory was deeper. Off-season, wedding planning, small ceremony in Ohio woods, Tyler best man, family's whole. Vows exchanged under autumn leaves. In highs and hooks, I choose you. Years folded, Jake's all-star nod, my gallery show of athlete portraits, him central. Tyler's byline in SI, Mr. Harlan at Pride, rainbow pin on his cap. Our story, dramatic arcs, betrayals bridged, emotions etched deep, romantic in stolen glances, humanistic in healing. From that garage glove to forever's diamond, something happened. Life, loved fully. Marriage was less fireworks, more steady glow. A rhythm of shared mortgages and morning coffees. Jake's road trips met with care packages of my latest sketches and Tyler's snarky podcasts. We settled in Cleveland proper, Victorian row house with creaky floors and a backyard garden where Jake attempted tomatoes, failing spectacularly but laughing through the wilt. His career plateaued, solid starter, not ace, but contract extensions rolled in, stability we savored. I freelanced illustrations for sports mags, my style, raw lines, emotional undercurrents, gaining traction. A book deal simmered, diamonds in the rough, portraits of queer athletes. Jake's forward, a love letter in prose. Conflict simmered domestic. Jake's wanderlust clashing my rootedness. Tour Japan with me, exhibition games. He'd urge, eyes alight. I'd counter, exhibit deadlines, babe. Next spring. Resentments brewed, small but sharp. Missed anniversaries. Curt texts from Tokyo. Betrayal brewed unexpected. Old flame resurfacing. Pre-marriage, Jake's college teammate. Alex, the shower incident emailed. Congrats on the nuptials. Miss our talks. Coffee in town. Innocent. Jake deleted, but guilt gnawed. He confessed over wine, voice small. It stirred stuff, not feelings, just ghosts. Hurt lanced, but I saw vulnerability. Talk to me, not ghosts. Therapy doubled, couple sessions unpacking closets debris. We're not those boys anymore, our counselor affirmed, and we leaned in, hands clasped. Tyler married that summer. Intimate affair, lakeside, his bride radiant. Jake caught Garter winking at me. I feigned horror, crowd chuckling. Mr. Harlan's toast. To family, blood and chosen. Tears welled. Healing, hard one. Climax crashed October 30. Jake's elbow blowing mid-start versus Orioles. Tommy John surgery loomed. Careers fork. Hospital stark. Monitors beeping. He gripped my hand white-knuckled. What if it's over? Who am I without the mound? You're Jake, I whispered, kissing knuckles. Husband. Friend. The guy who taught me courage. Tyler arrived, bearing donuts, contraband comfort. Coach now? Hell, you'd be legendary. Rehab was hell. Endless PT, frustration boiling into arguments. Push harder. He'd snap at the mirror. I'd counter, rest, idiot. One night, storm raging, he hurled a therapy band across the room. I can't do this. Caught it tossing back gently. You can. With me. We collapsed, sobbing, then laughing. Absurdity breaking tension. Intimacy reignited. Slow dances in kitchen to Coltrane's. Bodies rediscovering sans pressure. Humanism bloomed in pivot. Jake joined Guardian's broadcast booth, voice rich as his delivery, insights gold. The unseen grind, that's the game, he'd opine. Fans tuning in. I finished the book, launch in Cleveland Library. Sold out, Jake emceeing, our story woven in dedications. Betrayal's last gasp, Derek's tell-all memoir, dugout deceptions, dredging lies, lawsuit swift, defamation win, settlement funding youth scholarships. Closure, bittersweet. Wedding anniversary, 5 years. Found us road-tripping Route 66. Baseball ghosts in every diner. Grand Canyon Rim, sunset bleeding gold. Jake pulled a second ring. Renewal? Vows 2.0. Under stars we did. Through injuries and innings. I love you deeper. Tyler's first kid arrived winter 32. Nephew, chubby-cheeked, named Ethan James. Uncle duties. Diaper disasters. Jake's pitches reduced to soft tosses. Mr. Harlan doted. Stories of minor leagues lulling babe. Our narrative? Lyrical denouement. Romance in routines. Drama in dreams pursued. From hook to horizon, something happened, wholeness shared. A decade distilled to milestones. Jake's Hall of Fame trajectory whispers. My gallery in Short North thriving. Tyler's column syndication. Cleveland cocooned us. Pride parades with rainbow cleats for Jake. Gallery openings where his arm anchored my waist. Conflict crested subtle. Empty nest pangs as Tyler's family grew. Our childless choice questioned. Kids? Friends probed. We'd smile. Our path. But privately, doubts surfaced. Jake's late-night scrolls through adoption sites. My sketches of hypothetical nurseries. Betrayal? Self-inflicted. Jake's broadcast partner, charismatic ex-player Liam, flirted shameless, off-mic charm. Jake called it, but lunches lingered. I confronted over brunch, bagels cooling. Am I enough? He paled, reaching. Always. Liam's ego, mine's yours. Boundaries reset, trust rebuilt via date nights. Ferry to put in bay, wine under lighthouses. Climax gentle. Jake's induction speech draft, shared by firelight. The mound taught control. Ethan, surrender. Tears, revisions till dawn. Human ending unfolded spring 40. Cherry blossoms dusting diamond. Jake, 42. Through ceremonial first pitch, crowd roaring, arm true. Post-game, family picnic. Tyler's twins chasing fireflies. Mr. Harlan, grayer, softer, grilling. Mrs. Harlan's pie slicing. Dusk fell. Jake and I wandered outfield, ghosts of youth. Remember the garage? He murmured. Glove, that glove. Tucked in his jacket. Like yesterday. Kiss soft, timeless. Our story closes not tragic, but tender. Lives intertwined. Conflicts conquered. Love's drama eternal. From unexpected help to enduring something. Us unbreakable.